Hi, this is Mato. Welcome to my online chess lecture. In this video I will show you a game between Ian Nepomniachtchi and Ding Liren. This is a game from the World Championship Candidates Tournament played in 2020. Ian Nepomniachtchi had white pieces and he started with e4. Ding Liren played e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to b5, the Spanish game, a6, bishop to a4, knight to f6, Nepo castled kingside, black to move, bishop to e7 was played. If knight takes on e4, most of the time white plays d4, sometimes rook to e1. Back to our game, bishop to e7, white to move, d3, rook to e1 is the most played move. We have d3 defending the pawn on e4, b5, bishop to b3, d6, white to move, a3, c3 is the most played move, and if knight to a5, bishop to c2. Back to our game, a3, Ding Liren castled kingside, knight to c3, knight to a5, bishop to a2, bishop to e6, b4, bishop takes on a2, rook takes bishop, knight to c6, bishop to g5, queen to d7, connecting rooks, white to move. How would you continue? Note that the black has a bad bishop on e7. So, Nepo played bishop takes on f6, bishop takes bishop, knight to d5. The white knight is well placed on d5, and white has a tiny advantage. The game continued. a5, rook to b2. Both players were blitzing the moves, and only now they started to think. Pawn takes pawn on b4, a takes on b4, bishop to d8, c4, knight to d4, knight takes knight, e takes on d4. Both players have one minor piece, but white minor piece is better placed than the black minor piece. The game continued. Queen to c2, rook to e8, g3, b takes on c4. Let's take it back. If c6, knight to f4, bishop to g5, c takes on b5, c takes on b5, knight to d5. White is standing better. Back to our game. In this position we have b takes on c4, queen takes on c4, c6, knight to f4, bishop to g5, knight to e2, d5, e takes on d5, c takes on d5, white to move. Should white capture that pawn on d4 or not? Nepo played queen to b3. If queen takes on d4, then bishop to f6, winning. Back to our game, queen to b3. Both players have 5 pawns, but there is a difference in the distribution on the board. White has a passed pawn. The game continued. h5, b5, h4, b6, h3. If white is not careful, this pawn can be very dangerous. Ding Liren is intending to bring his queen to g2. As simple as that. The game continued. King to h1, making the room for the knight. Rook from e to b8. Rook from f to b1. Bishop to d8. Queen to b5. With the queens off the board, white king would feel much safer. Black to move. Queen to g4 was played. The idea is very obvious, but this is a blunder. Let's take it back. Better move is queen to f5, and if knight to f4, g5, then perhaps queen takes on d5. Well, the truth is, white is still a bit better. Back to our game. In this position, queen to g4 was played. And like I said, this is a blunder. Why? What would you do in this position if you had white pieces? Nepo played queen takes on d5, defending f3 square. There was a better move. Queen to e8 check was better, and after king to h7, queen takes on f7, still defending the pawn on f3. One line goes like this: rook takes on b6, rook takes rook, bishop takes on b6, f3, queen to g5, knight to f4, and white is standing better. Back to our game. In this position, queen takes on d5 was played. Black to move, rook to a5, deflection tactic. Queen to c6, guarding f3 square. Let's take it back. If queen takes on a5, then queen to f3, check, and after king to g1, queen to g2, checkmate. Back to our game. After rook to a5, queen to c6. And this is the most critical position of the game. What would you do in this position if you had black pieces? Liren played rook to c5. Let's take it back. Rook takes on b6 would be the best move for black. If rook takes rook, let's take it back. How about queen to e8 check? Then king to h7. And after knight to g1 covering f3, rook takes on b2, rook takes on b2, rook to a1, queen to e2, queen to c8, and black is even better. Let's go back. This is the position, so queen to e8 check is not that good. But after rook takes on b6, queen takes knight on e2. After rook to b8, black has this amazing move available. Rook to e5, threatening queen to e1 check. If rook takes bishop check, then king to h7, and black would continue to fight. First, if white plays rook to g1, then queen to f2, and black is better, slightly. Let's take it back. In this position, the best move for white would be rook to h8 check. And after king takes on h8, queen to c8 check, king to h7, queen takes on h3. After king to g6, white is a pawn up, but the position is not all that clear. That was quite a complex variation. Back to our game. Not seeing that rook takes pawn on b6 variation, Liren played rook to c5. And now queen to e8 check. This is not only a saving move, but a winning move. The game continued. King to h7, knight to g1, rook takes on b6 now, queen takes bishop, rook takes on b2, rook takes rook, rook to c1, intending queen to f3, check, mate. White to move. How would you prevent this checkmate? There is a simple move available to white, and that is queen to h4 check, trading queens. Queen takes queen, pawn takes queen, rook to d1, f3. The dust has settled. Liren resigned. One possible continuation is king to g6, rook to b4, rook takes on d3, but then knight takes on h3, rook takes on f3, king to g2, rook to a3, if rook to d3, knight to f4, check, winning the rook, rook to a3, then rook takes on d4, the rook to a2, check, knight to f2, black could have continued fighting for many more moves, but Liren didn't doubt Nepo's endgame skills. What do you think of this game? And that is all. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I wish you good luck with your chess, and bye for now.